Last fall we were breaking in a new Road Warrior and testing the Noble M12 at the same time. The car was very quick, and as we were at the staging area checking out the acceleration results, the 20-something new guy got a look. "Damn, that thing's stupid fast," he blurted. What was funny was how well that summed up the Noble. On one hand, it is a little, well, silly, since it's a South African-built $76,400 car of questionable lineage that doesn't pass US emissions or crash regulations and gets registered for road use as a home-built kit. But on the other, it is one of the most satisfying cars we've ever driven, and it is ferociously fast, snapping to 60 in a minuscule 3.3 seconds, the same as a Ford GT. Actually, it's a component car, clarified Dean Rosen, the president of 1G Racing and importer of the Noble kit. The car comes in two crates, one with the completely assembled car, and the other with the powertrain. You can join the two in about 40 hours. Maybe we were being a little harsh, since a lot of kit cars we've driven feel pretty good. But still, here in the US, the Noble is an obscure machine. Lee Noble, a well-regarded auto designer and race car driver, formed Noble Automotive Limited in Leicestershire, England, in 1998. In 1999, he released the M10, also built in South Africa. English car magazines swooned, praising the Noble for superb driving dynamics. 1 year later, a refined and prettier version of the M10, called the M12, appeared. In 2003, 1G Racing began importing about 6 each month to the US, approximately 30% of the total production. The car certainly looks fierce, a sports car for sure, but it doesn't appear to be all that sophisticated. The chassis is made from steel tubes, and the body is fiberglass. The mid-mounted, twin-turbocharged 360 HP V6 uses the engine block from a Ford Taurus, and the 6-speed transmission is from the European Ford Mondeo. When Rosen arrived with the car, we did the usual walk around looking for the fatal flaw that would illustrate this low-volume car was built by a small team of engineers with limited resources. None readily appeared. So we opened the door and got in. A few things struck us as odd. Getting in was easy, and the cockpit, though narrow, offered plenty of legroom. "We have one customer who is 6'7" and weighs 250 pounds, and he fits fine," commented Rosen, and we believe him. The radio, the only luxury feature besides the very effective air conditioning, is mounted on the dash in front of the passenger, out of reach of the driver. Strange. And the manual windows roll down only 2/3 of the way. These types of low-volume sports cars often provide some combination of thrills: a gorgeous body, lots of horsepower, outrageous speed. The trade-offs are usually creature comfort, a clutch that will give you a Charlie horse, for example, and a jarring ride. Not everyone has the nerve, or maybe lack of brains, for a car like this, but friends will still envy it. Today there are plenty of ways to fulfill your desire for a trophy car that is easy to have a long-term relationship with. The Porsche Carrera GT, the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, the Celine S70s all cost upwards of $400,000. Considering the M12 sprouted from a young, small company and costs more than 4/5 less, we weren't expecting much refinement or poise. And we were dead wrong. The steering, the brakes, and the clutch have a direct feel with light effort. The ride is surprisingly good, with a suppleness that inhales large impacts without sending shocks to the driver. We'd happily spent days in the Noble saddle. And it posted supercar numbers at the track. The quarter mile happened in 11.8 seconds at 118 miles per hour, and it pulled an even 1.00 G on the skid pad. The $448,000 Porsche Carrera GT does the quarter in 11.2 seconds at 132 miles per hour. Bear in mind that skirting crash and emissions regulations makes it easier to keep a car light. The Noble weighs only 2,457 pounds, 689 less than the carbon fiber Carrera GT. On the other hand, the sublime connection you feel with the road in the Noble is not readily available at any price. You can drive it right up to its sky-high limits and know exactly when you've gotten there and back off just a smidge to stay in control. You feel far more accomplished as a driver than you actually are, and in a car this capable, providing that feeling is no small feat. It took us 4 tries and 4 visits from 1G Racing's Rosen to get the test numbers for the Noble. On attempt number 1, a faulty engine computer caused high RPM misfires. With that fixed, Rosen returned 2 weeks later, but then we heard some ominous noises from the engine bay during the second attempt, so Rosen checked the oil, only to find that his mechanics had left the sump half empty, which damaged the engine. Well, he reasoned, thank God the motor only costs $5,200. Imagine if it were a Porsche. Attempt 3 was sidelined when the vacuum hoses were incorrectly routed after the engine swap. On the 4th try, which was about 6 weeks after we had first driven the car, everything ran fine. So it looks as if Rosen might need some help back at his shop, but every setback brought smiles to our faces because that meant we'd get another chance to drive the M12 vehicle type, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, 2-passenger, 2-door coupe. Price as tested, $76,400, base price asterisk, $76,400. Engine type, twin-turbocharged and intercooled DOHC 24-valve V6, aluminum block and heads, port fuel injection. Displacement, 181 cu in, 2,967 cubic centimeters. Power, SAE net 360 bhp at 6,200 rpm. Torque, SAE net 358 lb-ft at 3,500 rpm. Transmission, 6-speed manual. Dimensions. Wheelbase, 96.0 in length, 161.0 in width, 74.2 in height, 45.0 in. Curb weight, 2,457 pounds. C/D test results. 0 to 60 miles per hour 3.3 SEC. 0 to 100 miles per hour 8.1 SEC. 0 to 150 miles per hour 26.6 SEC. Street start, 5 to 60 miles per hour 3.9 SEC. Standing 1/4 mile 11.8 SEC at 118 miles per hour. Braking, 70 to 0 miles per hour 167 feet. Road holding, 300 foot DOHC skidpad 1.00 G.